Hidden faces, hidden motives? California is taking a dramatic stand against secrecy in law enforcement, but some say the consequences could be far-reaching. Let's break down what's happening, why it matters, and the debate lighting up both sides of the issue. Governor Gavin Newsom, leading the way in a move no other state has tried before, has officially signed a groundbreaking law prohibiting police officers from covering their faces on duty, except in certain situations. These exceptions include using riot shields, medical masks, or when undercover assignments require it. Newsom described this sweeping new measure as a response to what he calls a growing culture of intimidation, linking the use of masks by police and federal agents to a lack of transparency and oversight. In his words, detaining people behind a mask represents authoritarianism, and Newsom argues it's reminiscent of Trump's America. And this is where the controversy heats up. Advocates see the law as a vital step toward accountability, while opponents claim it puts officers and their families in danger. For years, California's federal agents worked openly, and only recently have some arrived masked, triggering anxiety, especially in diverse communities. According to Newsom and the bill's supporters, these masked operations grew visible during crackdowns tied to President Trump's policies, where residents witnessed agents detaining people without clear identification. Protests erupted in places like Los Angeles as ICE, immigration and customs enforcement raids intensify, with officials sometimes refusing to display their agency or badges. Curious about the future? The law, called the No Secret Police Act, is set to take effect next year. But here's where it gets controversial. Legal experts admit that it's not entirely clear how much authority California has to control how federal agents operate within its borders. Professor Raquel Aldana from UC Davis points to a fundamental legal tension. States can certainly outlaw egregious actions, think murder or coercion by federal officers, but lines get blurry when it comes to uniform policies. She argues California is drawing a line in the sand around its own sovereignty, prompting important questions about where federal power ends and state oversight begins. Other states, like New York and Massachusetts, are reportedly interested in similar legislation. Still, federal officials largely remain silent. ICE representatives declined to comment for this story, but have previously said agents wear masks to avoid being identified by the public online, citing real threats to their safety. The new law isn't alone. Newsom signed several related measures as well. One now requires police to wear badges or nameplates at all times. Another mandates schools alert parents and staff whenever immigration enforcement visits campus. Schools and healthcare centers are now also barred from admitting ICE agents unless they have valid court-issued warrants. These layered protections, lawmakers hope, will foster greater trust in law enforcement. But this is the part most people miss. The mask restrictions technically don't apply to California's own state police, but they do cover local law enforcement like city police and county sheriff's departments, who traditionally operate with faces uncovered. By July 2026, every local agency must adopt written rules on mask use that comply with the law. Not everyone is on board. Powerful law enforcement groups, including the California State Sheriff's Association and the state's largest police organization, warn the law is dangerous. They believe it needlessly exposes police to personal harm, particularly if criminals, who face no similar mask ban, target them or their families. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, now running for governor, didn't mince words. He accused Newsom and Democratic legislators of caring more about criminals than police, calling for voters to oust anyone supporting the bill. They didn't tell criminals to reveal their faces. His comments highlight a passionate, deeply divided response. On the other side, supporters like Giselle Garcia of NorCal Resist, a non-profit offering legal support to immigrants, argue the law is a practical step against federal overreach. Garcia says legal clarity, even if symbolic, empowers people to challenge government abuses in court. Her organization has documented incidents where masked, unidentified ICE agents have harassed or even assaulted court observers, making accountability almost impossible. So, where do you stand? Do you think police mask bans protect civil rights, or do they threaten officers' safety? Should states have the power to set limits on federal law enforcement, or does that undermine national security? Let's get the conversation going, because how we answer could reshape the balance between safety, privacy, and government transparency for years to come.